set that. That'll automatically start the stream. I'll go to intro as soon as it hits. There we go. I'll jump over here. I can't remember if I had my volume up or not. Oh, I can't remember if I had my volume. Yeah, I had it up. I was watching YouTube. Of course I had it up. I had it up. I was watching YouTube. Of course I had it up. I had it up. I was watching YouTube. Of course I had it up. I had it up.
That was me. Sorry about that.
I was gonna say I actually looked back over at mine. I thought, well, didn't I mute that? And I did. So, all right. So Josh says we are waiting. I don't understand what that is. I don't see. Well, wait a minute. The waiting room is not open. So let me go see what he's talking about.
I came right in about 10 after 10.
Yeah, no, I've got it set up right now. The waiting room is actually disabled. People can get right in.
Right.
I'll see how that goes for a while. So Tony Wallow says video is good. That's good because I did make an adjustment earlier today and I was concerned how my audio would sound, but apparently it's fine.
Yeah, it is. GTG, good to go.
Yeah, it's. Here comes Chris in.
I was laying in bed watching TV. I heard something talking. I was like, what in the world?
Well, that'd be your TV.
No, it was you. I said, what? I thought he said 11.
I did, but I got in early enough. I went ahead and started it early rather than waiting till 11.
And I was just thinking that.
Yeah, I moved it back to 10:45, and I was actually thinking about doing that, and I thought, now I'll just go ahead and get started now. Oh, I got to make some adjustments here. What do I have to adjust to make this look right? Well, let's see. If I bring OBS over here where I can see it. Bring that in like that. Bring that over like that. And I think I could expand this one just a little bit. Yeah, it's better. It's not perfect. I'm gonna have to I gotta rework a lot of things on the clock feature. Oh, I guess I do have to rework some things. Bring this down to there. Or I could move this over here.
Talk's starting early tonight.
Yeah, I scheduled it for 11 because I anticipated, her getting off like normal time. And as luck would have it, she comes strolling out early tonight. So,
yeah, I know. I met Greg's background.
Oh,
What's that?
Yeah, we haven't had any tech talk yet. Although I was just discussing that I need to work on the clocks a little bit. I've got to figure out a couple different things. I like the fact that I could add pictures to it, but I also need to now be able to move some of the wording around. Like the word "the" needs to move towards the toward the left a little bit, and then I can move everything around from there. Well, you sound like I feel.
Yeah, no, I know. Hey, Mike.
There's Mike.
Hey, Matt.
Can you hear us, Mike? Oh, he's connecting to audio. Can't say anything yet.
I don't know if Tony was right or what or not, but we'll let it pass.
What's that?
Said you always normal.
Oh. Yeah, well, I read
some of your Facebook stuff today. First time I've gotten on in a long time. I changed my name on there, took off my wife's name finally, and just me on there now is the name. Went through some stuff.
Yeah.
Wasn't as I thought it might be. For a long time, I stayed away because there were too much political on there. I've tried to avoid being too political on Facebook, but I'm about to reach the point of pissing off a bunch of people, probably.
Yep. Well, I'm the same way. I just high school friends, family, couple little things. That's about all I do. I've got the one thing I'm doing for the high school reunion. Yeah, I got all the lights on. I look funny. Why do I look funny? That's weird.
But added a couple of the homies as friends today on Facebook.
Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, Mike, we can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yep. Loud and clear. So
What do you say, 5 by 5 or whatever?
yeah,
Whatever the hell that meant.
something like that. 5 by 5.
I don't even remember exactly what that stood for now. It's been too many years.
I know that feeling. Kenny Witten says hello, everyone. Homie running late again. No, actually, I'm early today.
Oh, strength and clarity.
Oh,
All right.
Hi, Mimi.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Me too, I'm fine.
Good. Good. Just getting started.
Yes, it's relaxed now because it's the week.
What does T minus 62 mean or T-62 mean?
It should. What? Oh, yeah. So if Saturday was 300, what do you think T minus 62 stands for?
All right.
If my math, Laura asked me the same thing. I sent her a message.
Okay.
She asked me tonight if I was close to dinner. I said T minus 30. And when she came in to break, she goes, "What's T minus 30?" I said, T minus 30 seconds. Oh.
Yeah, my just got notification that starting a week from Sunday, I'm going to have the children 5 days a week.
Oh, my goodness. So you won't have them on the weekends at all?
Well, I have them Sunday through Thursday.
Oh. So you'll take them to school on Friday morning?
No, they'll go back home Thursday evening.
Oh, Thursday night. Okay. Okay.
And they ride the bus from their dad's place on Friday.
Okay.
But his schedule is changing. He's been working like 3/12s, and supposedly he's going to get a new position at the place he's working. It'll be 5 days a week now, so 5/8s instead of 3/12s, whatever.
Still going to have the same amount of hours, though, right?
Well, no, he's going to end. Well, to get to 40 hours, he's had to work overtime in the current schedule.
Wow.
Well, 3/12, so he'd still be
36, right?
Short,
Sure. Yeah, I think one of the best schedules I've ever worked, and I've worked it at 3 different places, was a 12-hour shift. You worked Monday, Tuesday. You were off Wednesday, Thursday. You work Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The following week, you were off Monday, Tuesday. You worked Wednesday, Thursday, and you were off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So you were guaranteed 2 3-day weekends a month.
Okay.
We never had absenteeism problems at all. In fact, we had people begging you to work on their weekends to be off because they needed the money.
Last place I worked, we worked what they called a 980 schedule. 9 hours a day and 80 hours in 2 weeks. So you had every other Friday off.
That'd be nice.
So 9 hours a day, so 45 hours 1 week and 35 the next week. And you got that every other Friday off. That seems to be a common government contractor schedule these days. But a lot of places now have gone to 4/10s, which I don't care for. You get 3 days off every weekend, but 4/10s is a long day. And whenever you have something happen, like you got a dentist appointment or doctor's appointment or something like that, I mean,
Right.
unless you can schedule it on the Friday, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and sometimes that's hard to
do.
do. Sometimes that's real hard to do.
So in that regard, I don't miss work anymore, to be honest with you.
You looked up, not to change the subject, but you looked up DVE today, right?
Yeah, digital video something.
It's either editor or editing, and I'm not sure which because there's the two places I looked it up. One says digital video editing, and one says digital video editor. So I don't know. All I know is it takes whatever you're putting it on and puts it in the upper right-hand corner. It works
No,
just
this
fine.
first thing that popped up, am I going to say, is domestic violent extremists.
I don't remember what the first thing that popped up, but it wasn't. It had nothing to do with editing at all.
Acronyms: the Free Dictionary. Second one is digital video editing. First one was in French, which means Directorate of Student Life in English. Oh, digital video effect is the other one I found at the other place.
Could be effect. Actually, sounds pretty good because it is an effect.
They were referring to in your Da Vinci, I'm guessing.
Well, I actually went and Googled it using the words "What does DVE mean in DaVinci Resolve?" and that was really worthless.
Abbreviation finder.
It brings up a bunch of videos, is what it does, because it's trying to teach you.
Yeah, one website on abbreviations has the first one as digital video effects, plural. I tend to think that's probably what it is in DaVinci Resolve, but because it seemed to me that's what you were doing. You were introducing an effect of some type in your stream at that point. But
yep, you sure are. Well, I sort of kind of got
come in the door. I've got to go fix a pizza, I think.
All right, go. We'll be here. Not going nowhere for a while.
Hi, Chris.
Chill dog. What are you doing, Chris? What are you doing?
Just going through some stuff that I got. Some wires and all, connectors.
How's your new TV working out?
Oh, it's good.
You using it as a TV or a monitor or both?
Well, I'm using it as a TV right now.
Okay.
I probably won't. I might hook the computer up to it just to see what it looks like, but I probably won't keep it.
I've actually had mine hooked up to where I could watch both if I wanted. Not at the same time, obviously, but I could watch both. It was all right.
Oh, well, I don't have to cook pizza for another half hour. We went and got ice cream after school today.
That sounds good.
Well, it was a school fundraiser.
Oh.
So went to Baskin Robbins, which I do like. Took both kids, and the particular store was giving 25% of the profits to the school for a fundraiser.
Nice. You have Cold Stone out there?
Yeah, we got a Cold Stone. It's actually right across the street from Baskin Robbins. I prefer Baskin Robbins. I don't like all of the mixing and all of that nonsense. Yeah. But I do like Baskin Robbins. They've got good tasting ice cream.
We have a Dairy Queen up the street. Well, actually, Dairy Queen's go out our drive, go to the main street, hang a left, go to the next street, hang a left, and it's two buildings down. Which the old me would have loved that, but the new me not so much.
This one, Caleb got a big cone with 3 scoops in it, which his eyes were bigger than his stomach.
Yeah. I remember those days.
And then Olivia got 1 scoop in a cone, and I got 1 scoop in a cup. All of that with a little bit of a tip came to $20.
Oh my goodness.
Il fallait dans les CP, dans les centres.
Well, the 3 scoops was expensive in a big wall.
Demande à lui, mais quand
Yeah. Yeah.
Ok, vas-y.
I'd
What's
love to
going-
have a Dairy Queen Blizzard.
Laura and I shared one
Under the
about
blizzard, but
2 weeks
I know
ago.
what you're talking about.
Well, and I say
That's what
share,
we
I
had
had
when I was growing up, the Dairy Queen.
Ah,
In fact, they still have one in that little town, although now it's one where they've added the burgers and all that stuff. Back when I was in high school, Dairy Queen just meant ice cream, and that was the end of it.
That was probably Brazier. One. It was called Brazier.
Oh
There
yeah,
was something. They were Brazier and something
yeah,
else.
that's what most of them are now. I think they've got the hamburgers and stuff with them.
yeah, they switched. I think the Braziers came about what late '80s maybe,
non?
and now they're
That sounds about
called.
right.
Trying to think what they call them now. It's not Brazier. Shoot. Talk about having brain not wanting to work.
Well, here I looked up Dairy Queen. They got grill and chill,
That's
whatever that means.
Yeah, they making those things. They making a lot of that now.
somebody came in Zoom.
I
Two
didn't
of them
think
here.
it,
That's well, and Dairy
I
Queen
just came in.
treat, whatever
I
that
didn't
means.
think they had Dairy Queens
Hello,
out
Alex.
west.
Oh yeah.
Hello.
Hi, Alex.
Hi,
Hi. How are you, Alex?
pretty good.
Well, yeah, here we've got Dairy Queen treats, and Dairy Queen grill and chill. And I have no idea what the difference is.
Yeah, I
Mike-
don't either. Hey,
Mike,
Alex,
I saw you on
Hey,
Matt's stream.
you saw me?
No, I saw Mike on a guy we watched. Rick watches him too.
Oh,
Matt
okay.
and Roy.
Oh, hey Alex, you work on the computer today?
yes, I was just about to tell you. You were probably right. I was wrong. It's not a memory issue. Like you and William said, it's either one or two things. It's either the motherboard or the power supply, but most likely,
Have you got a power
Motherboard.
supply to swap out?
I tried. This is what I tried. I tried both new memory modules in the computer at once. I tried one of the new memory modules in every single slot. I tried all 4 memory modules in all at once, and nothing worked.
Do you have a power supply to try?
I do not.
That will be
Yeah.
a small form factor power supply.
Well, does it
I
have to be a
certainly don't
small
have one
form
of those.
factor or just something that
You
you
might
can reach
you might could
towards?
test it with a regular power supply.
You could take a power supply out of one of your desktops, I guess, but that's kind of a pain in the behind.
Can't do that because
Yeah.
my Nook takes a special kind of power supply, and my mom's computer is she got her computer in a cabinet. So it's like we can't, it's like, unless it needs to be unhooked for like cleaning or upgrading
Okay.
parts, we don't ever yank it out because it's,
All right.
I personally wouldn't risk that.
no,
know
it's
how-
not
Y'all
It's
know how
not-
clumsy I
Well,
am.
I guess you can either send back the memory or hang on to it for fixing somebody else's old computer.
that's what I'm gonna do. They don't even want the computer, but we know the computer is junk.
Well,
and
you
can't
ought to
be
have them
fixed.
come and get it just to get it out of your hair, in my opinion. But
They already know the computer is junk and can't be fixed, so I just took out the video card, and I'm keeping all 4 sticks of DDR3, the two that came in that computer and the 2 that Ken got me, so I'll have 12 gigs of DDR3 for repairing.
I don't know if you have any way to test it. If they don't want any of it, you might try keeping the power supply in case it is the motherboard that's bad.
Yeah, that's a good point.
There was a way to test a power supply though.
Well, there are power supply testers, but I think the best way is just sometime when you have something else, just try hooking it up to another motherboard. Unless it's given over voltage that might short out a board.
That's why I
Okay,
said,
this is
I think
what
it's
makes
more
this
likely that it would not be given any voltage. Well, it's got
when
to be
I
given some voltage, I guess, from what you said.
this is what happens. To the best of my memory, this is what happens. When I put in 2 or more memory modules into that motherboard, the power supply will come on for like a second, fan will spin for like a second, and then it will shut off. Completely shut off.
Well, you can't tell. That could be a motherboard fault and the power supply is sensing something and shuts off, or it could be the power supply is not worth anything.
But then there's also this side of the coin of if I put in just one stick of memory, it will I forget which combination goes with what, but the power supply would either do one or two things. It would come on and stay on and constantly run, or it would come on for like 2 seconds and shut off.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe just keep the memory and forget the rest of it.
That's what I was going to do. And it had a
Since
video
you can't
card
tell
in,
what's what quite.
and it had a video card in there. Not that the video card would do me much good, but I'm gonna keep it anyway. So
Yeah.
I think it's a PCI.
Well, for that
Yeah.
age, I mean,
it's not a PCI Express.
well, maybe not with DDR3. It could be either one, depending on the motherboard at that age.
Well,
But
I'm
if
keeping
you got
the
another
right here
I'm keeping
has
the
PCI.
DDR. I'm keeping the memory, and I'm keeping the video card, but the rest is
Yeah.
trash.
Actually, that sounds reasonable to me, Alex.
I agree.
Besides,
are they
if I
coming to?
need, if eventually if I get a new enough machine in for repair to that's new enough that there's a benefit to buying a power supply to test with, I can find one cheap enough that's brand new that I only have to.
I assume with one that old, it's probably using Molex connectors, right? Or some of them, anyway.
No, it's actually not. It's using normal.
So it's using like regular SATA connectors or whatever.
It's regular SATA data and power cables.
Okay. Is it worth
But-
keeping the hard drive or any of the SATA cables?
Possibly the SATA cables, which I didn't think about, but
So are they coming to get the gutted case, or what's going on with that?
the way it sits right now, I was just gonna give the rest of it to them.
Okay.
The way it sits right now with no memory and no video cord.
Now, on the SATA cables, do you know what version of SATA it is
3,
for that model? So you're sure it's SATA 3 for that model of computer? Is this an
Yes.
HP or a Dell or something or Lenovo?
it's a Dell Optiplex 980, small form factor.
Okay, so you're pretty sure it's actually SATA 3 cable. I was gonna say if it was like SATA 2 or something, you'd have to label them just so
No,
you.
it's SATA 3.
All right.
A
It's
lot of
already
these cables have writing on them that actually will tell you what it is if you don't already know, but I happen to know it's SATA 3.
All right.
This old HP is DDR3. I just looked, made sure.
Well, at least you're getting something out of it, so that's good.
Yep. All I can do is assume that all 4 memory modules are good until I get a computer that in for repair that I can put them in.
You
And
would, if you had to make an assumption, I would assume that the 2 new ones are likely to be good.
Well, you know the 2 new. Yeah, I mean, you would hope the 2 new ones are good.
And you can get a bad memory stick occasionally, but brand new, that you would hope they're okay. And so long as you
DDR3,
remember which ones are the new ones.
yeah, that's easy
DDR3
because
is not.
that's easy because the new ones have some kind of it's a off like a Chinese brand,
Okay.
like a literal Chinese brand.
Are
So the
these
new ones are easy to
DDR3 or
identify.
DDR3L?
DDR3.
Okay. I don't know what the difference is. I remember there are 2 kinds of DDR.
DDR3L is low voltage. I know
Okay, that makes
because
sense.
at school we had some Dell Optiplexes that were newer Dell Optiplexes that required the use of DDR3L, not DDR3. And I accidentally told the person at the school to order DDR3 instead of DDR3L, not realizing that they were 2 different things.
I just learned something. I didn't know you had DDR3 and DDR3L, 2L, or whatever.
The difference is DDR3L runs at 1.35 volts, and normal DDR3 for desktops runs at 1.5. You don't have that. You don't have that with DDR4. It's all the same.
And now we have DDR5 coming out.
Yeah, if you feel flush with money.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I have been, I guess you say, fortunate not to have any DDR4 machines come in for repair, or any Windows 11 machines come in for repair, for that matter. All the machines that I've ever had come in for repair are roughly about the same age as this Dell right here.
And how old did we determine that computer was, Alex? Do you remember?
8
years old?
8 years old, 2014.
Okay.
Which I know that, which I remember that because that's the same year I started college.
Interesting way of remembering that.
Le computer troisième génération.
So that kind of falls into Kerry Holzman's assessment that a laptop or a desktop should last about 8 years, doesn't it? It's
Right.
kind of ironic.
Well, this thing didn't last 8 years. This Dell Optiplex here didn't last 8 years. It lasted more like 6 years. Because the way I understand
I would have expected an Optiplex to last longer normally, even for a
the way I understand
because those are the
it,
business line
this
of computers.
This computer was purchased by this couple that got it 2 years ago.
Yeah, and you did say that they indicated
it never worked.
Right.
From day one. And
Yeah,
2 months ago they messaged me, asked me to fix it, and just now they brought it to me.
Wintermute says his builds will last. Dell builds not so much. Yeah, I would second that. I would take that.
The Optiplexes we had at school were 9010s, 9020s, 7010s, 7020s, 3050s, and those were good computers. We were running our Active Directory server off of a Dell Optiplex 3050 with 32 gigs of RAM and 2 SSDs. Pretty nice computer.
The next to last place I worked, we were a Dell Optiplex shop, except for the Dell workstations that the graphics engineers used, the graphic designers used. And the Optiplexes gave us pretty good service. Now, we used not the small form factor desktop, but just the regular desktop, not the under the desk model, but the one that actually sat on the desk.
The 8th gen processors, the computers that had 8th generation processors that the college got, those could actually support 128 gigabytes of RAM.
Yeah, these were back in the days, they were Pentium 4s, actually. The ones I'm thinking about. They were bought around 2008.
I remember those. I remember the ones from 2002 and all that too.
I went to
GX260.
work at this place in December 2000. We had a bunch of Dell machines running a Windows 95 OSR2.
I remember those too.
And just because of all of the crap you had to do to get software on them by the company rules, believe it or not, those Windows 95 machines were rock solid. Never had any trouble with them.
Yeah, they were.
But because you couldn't put a piece of software on them without literally testing them against every other piece of software the company owned to make sure they
Yeah.
wouldn't screw up the machine.
Jeff, even the dimensions in that era back then, the Windows 98 dimensions, they were even good.
Yep. I don't remember, I guess I was running Windows 98 on, I had a Dell XPS R350 and
Yeah,
a
those are
Dimension,
good.
I think, at home. And
I
that was
found-
okay for a while. The controller on the motherboard, the disk controller crapped out on the motherboard, and I bought 2 other computers nominally like it and couldn't fix it with the parts from 2 other computers of the same model.
I was doing my
Because the
server.
motherboards were different revisions. So
I remember
it turned out to be
server
an extra
class,
utility.
my Windows Server class and Windows 10 class in college was a virtualized. It was online, so we had to do all of our stuff in like a virtual lab type of environment online. And when they showed us the BIOS, they actually used a duplicate of a Dell BIOS. That's how good the Dell BIOSes are. They actually showed us how to turn, the TPM on and off and do all that inside.
You know who makes the BIOS for Dell normally? There are 2 or 3 major BIOS makers out there yet. I don't remember who they are now.
Well,
They just had that gray background and the blue writing and the blue edges. Some of them did.
Wintermute says AMI.
Yeah.
Okay, you got Phoenix, IBM, Dell, Biosoft. I haven't heard of American Megatrends. That's AMI, and Inside, INSYDE. I've seen one of those.
This Dell Optiplex is AMI, but I think it's renamed to something else.
I think my laptop may have this. HP laptop may have this BIOS from Inside.
Yeah, that's what it's. I've seen that too, and they're the same as AMI.
So
pretty much. They look the same, put it that way.
I haven't seen an IBM BIOS in a long time. I'm surprised that they were in this list I Googled.
Picked up that a Dell Dimension Windows 98 one time, and from Goodwill, and it would have viruses on it. ABG boot scan on Windows 98 found viruses, but I was able to get the viruses off. But I eventually had to wipe the hard drive because it had people's information on it. Had a lot of pictures. I like, why in the world didn't they wipe the drive?
Probably didn't think about it.
Imagine, man.
Just never. I mean,
Imagine.
just never know.
Génération à niveau. Hein?
I don't think if my mom had myself or my sister or my brother around, she would just take her computer and, you know, turn it into Goodwill or whatever without giving any thought whatsoever to cleaning it up or deleting anything.
Troisième génération aéro.
Ah,
Ouais, aéro. Que chose, par exemple, aéro qu'on avait là, aéro.
So yeah, I got home.
ah,
And Josh called and I didn't answer, and next
le-
thing I know, I'm getting a message.
Non, non, aéro, c'est là on avait
If you don't want to talk to me, I don't want to talk to you either. Bye.
Oh, the
Do
saga.
what, Alex?
The saga continues. Let's
She was
discuss
ill?
that. Hi, do what, Chris?
I said the lady was mad at him.
No, he's talking about Josh.
Détermination.
We can talk about that after we end the stream later tonight. Here in about, wow, 36 minutes already, 24 minutes.
That's become your favorite saying, hasn't it?
Well, yeah, more or less. I mean,
Vas-y,
just that doesn't need to be going out across the YouTube world.
vas-y.
There'll be some organization watching and we'll get phone calls or letters or something, and we don't need the headache. Just, I think, well, I'll say that later. So did you guys see my cheap fix for the logo today when I did my daily Da Vinci?
Probably did, but I forgot it already. I'm getting old.
I don't know if anybody,
Instead of marking out a huge area so that it would track better, I reduced the area that was tracking, and then I took that circle and put it in that area and then manipulated it around to where that was filled with just the circle only. The background is still there. You just can't see it because it wasn't tracked in the initial beginning for it to see it. So it worked out pretty good. I actually thought about that around 4 o'clock this morning. I was watching a old Twilight Zone episode called The Arrival, which has nothing to do with computers whatsoever. It's about an airplane. And all of a sudden, I'm like, I know the answer to this problem. Instead of trying to make something this big, why don't I make it this big? Instead of make it a square, why don't I make it a circle? Because the logo I was using, it was a circle. So I painstakingly went back and started over. And instead of making a square, I tried to make it as circular as I could. Turned out all right. My next goal was to now do it on a t-shirt. That's where the fun's really going to begin, I think. We'll see. We will see. Speaking of fun, Rick texted me earlier and said he was taking some meds, going to try to sleep through the night. I said that's fine. Hopefully he'll be up and about tomorrow and doing much better.
I'm glad you said that. You reminded me.
Your meds. First thing in the morning. First thing when I walk in the door from dinner. Take my meds. 3.5 pills in the morning, 2.5 pills at night. And for some odd reason in the morning or at night I hear men. Oh, come on. You guys remember 2.5 Men, don't you? And there we have the awkward silence.
I do remember it. I never caught on.
You know, there were bits and pieces of it in the beginning that was kind of funny, kind of cute, but it got beat into the ground as well, I thought.
Yeah, until I got what? In the morning, I've got one prescription pill and 4 over-the-counter pills the doctor wants me to take.
I was at 10 a day.
Probiotic, calcium, vitamin C. Well, the calcium is for the vitamin D in it, in the pill. Oh, and a regular vitamin and a metoprolol for heart pill. You done for a while?
Yeah.
Right, want your pizza now?
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go do pizza.
All right, sounds good. Enjoy some for us. So what we had for dinner last night was pizza. Boy, was it good. I actually cooked chicken tonight. It is all right. Not my best effort, not my worst effort.
Non?
Les continuations.
C'est Ayavo. Vas-y.
Yeah,
I think, Alex, you're being asked a question.
yes. You must know the twice the third generation of does it have arrow in them?
What's the question again?
The 12th generation of compressor like the I5 or whatever, do they have the arrows on it, you know?
Is anybody else getting what he's saying? Because I can't
I
understand.
think he's asking about the generations of the processor, and specifically an i5.
If you're talking about the Dell Optiplex I was working on, that's a first generation i7.
No, it's the third generation.
Oh. Hey,
So the Optiplex that you have is a i7 first gen?
I believe so, yes.
you mentioned 3. Ayavo is over there. Yes or no?
So I think Mike is asking, well, I'm not sure what he's asking, but every computer that comes out, how do I want to say this?
Sound like he's
Where's
saying
Jim when you
AIO,
need
like
him?
all in one.
Every year they come out with a different processor generation.
A generation, right? Thank you. Yep. And you can have a computer that's 10 years old with a generation of something in it. You could have something come out this year and it would have like a, let's just say i13 first generation. Don't know if that exists or not, but
No,
it's possible.
It'd be a 13th generation. Like we're on the 12th generation now. And the one that they're developing is the 13th generation.
So, yeah, but what's a, okay, so you can get an i5 12, i7 12, i9 12, correct?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so if they get, let's just say they say we're stopping at 12, there will be no more generations, would they make an i10 processor? And it would be a first gen? Or how would that work? Or would that even work?
It would be a 12th gen. It would be a 12th gen i10 processor.
So it would start out at 12th gen i10?
Yes, because say for this computer I've got here, it's a ninth generation Core i7, but they also make it in this computer. Also comes in variants of you can get it as a ninth generation i5, you can get a ninth generation i7, and a ninth generation i9.
That's fine pour eux. C'est comme Windows, mais ça là avant.
Alice, what desktop did you have before that one?
I had this laptop sitting beside it here. This HP Envy laptop. That is it's a 3rd generation Core i5. Get ready from a 3rd generation Core i5 laptop that's 8 years old to a 9th generation Core i7 with 32 gigs of RAM and a 1 terabyte 980. That's a pretty decent upgrade if I do say so myself. And because I put Linux on this laptop once I transferred all my data over from it to the new computer, it runs Linux very well with i5 and 16 gigs of RAM.
So you put Linux on it.
Yeah, but it's still very capable machine. It's
the laptop you put Linux on it?
Yes.
Okay.
Put him in the waiting room.
It's still a very capable machine. i5 with 16 gigs of RAM and a 500 gigabyte SSD.
Put him in a waiting room, Ken.
No, I got a question for him. I'm trying to find something here. I don't know if this will work or not. No, it didn't. Figures. So with Linux, everything you do on that, you have to assign it a command.
No,
that's
wrong.
I'm just asking. Easy. I may put you in the waiting room. Take it easy.
You can. The command line only. They do make command line only. Linux.
Okay.
Like it's called but that's called the server edition of Linux.
Okay.
That's what I use for a website.
Well, the reason I ask is I watched Jim the other day and he typed in the word sudo followed by what he wanted it to do. Is that?
You don't have to. If you're running a desktop like a normal computer like I am on the laptop,
yeah,
you don't have to do that. It's got graphical ways of doing stuff just like Windows does. You can do the stuff. It's no different than Windows. You can do stuff in Windows by using the command line, or you can do stuff in Windows by using the graphical desktop way.
Sudo comes from Unix.
Well, he used another term, but I don't remember what it was off the top of my head. I remember sudo for sure because I seen that.
Apt.
What was it?
APT.
What does that stand for?
Apt.
I know that. What does apt stand for?
I don't know if it actually stands for anything, but it's basically the program that allows you to install programs on Linux, depending on what distro or what like all of Ubuntu based distributions of Linux.
So you just said something that brings another question. So Linux and Ubuntu are the same or are they different?
Ubuntu is a distribution or flavor of Linux. And it's confusing. It can be confusing because
it's very confusing.
See, no matter how different the versions of Linux are, they're all called Linux. Collectively, they're all called, even though they might be drastically different. So it can be a little confusing.
Just a tad bit.
But personally, I pretty much stick to Ubuntu, either in versions of Linux based on Ubuntu or just normal Ubuntu server for command line only for our website.
I'll stick with Windows. I can kind of understand that.
Well,
And
I don't understand as much Linux as I do Windows. I understand Windows a whole lot more than I do Linux. But I understand enough Linux to know how to install what I need to install to run our website and how to install like updates and everything. Make sure it's
right.
running properly.
So I'm going to say that Linux is kind of a offshoot of the old DOS system.
No, Microsoft, DOS, and Linux are two completely different animals.
Oh, okay. Well, this is why I don't like to do a lot of thinking, because I would have thought that they were similar, but someone has the spotlight tonight. Someone is geeking out.
Mac computers, Apple computers are a offshoot
Of
or
Unix.
branch off of Unix and Linux computers. And Linux is actually a branch off of Unix from way back in the dark ages.
Well, I better stick with what I don't know and not worry about anything, because that can be very confusing. So, Wintermute said Core is the current series of the Intel CPU-S, comes in i3, i5, i7, and i9 flavors. Generation is like the year the version of the Core was released. 12th are out, 13's coming out later this year or next. So my question is, if a new flavor was to come out, would that be an i10? And if so, by what Alex said, it would be an i10 and it would already start at 12th generation.
No. It would be if a new flavor was to come out like what you're talking about. It'd be a 13th generation, but the 13th generation would come in i3 variants, i5 variants, i7, and i9.
So
does that make sense?
It does in a way. So it kind of sounds to me like there's not ever going to be an i10. It's going to be 3, 5, 7, and 9, and they're just going to keep creating new generations of that chip.
Right now, that's the way I understand it. But there used to didn't be an i9. It used to just be i3, i5, and i7.
Yeah, and there was supposed to be only Windows 10 forever.
Yeah, now look where we're at. We have that wonderful
possible,
system.
But you're asking me to see into the future, which nobody can do.
No, I was just thinking, okay, you had an i3 that suddenly morphed into i5, which suddenly morphed into i7, which is now morphed into i9. You would think the logical progression would either be, let's see, 3, 5, 7, 9. It'd be i11 if it continues on this odd number series type thing. But apparently they're stuck with 3, 5, 7, and 9. I don't know.
If they do it the way they've been doing it, the next generation will be 13, and it'll come and there will be i3, i5, i7, i9, and possibly i11.
Yep. Yeah, I caught that. It'll revert all the way back. But so even though the i3s are forever and a day old, they can still reprocess those or add a process to them and bring them up to date to the 13th generation.
The i3s are not forever and a day old. They're just i3s are the cheapest models of any of the core processors.
And how long have they been around, roughly?
The term i3 has been around since, and i5 and i7 for that matter has been around since. Well, how old is your i7 machine? Since you got
I don't know the exact age. I've had it
like
since
a first generation.
Right. I don't know the exact age from when it was built. It's a custom built machine. I've had it since 2016. The question you should ask me, my old i3 machine, how old was it? And that machine is 2007. That's when I bought it at
I would
don't
say
get
that's
mad, Best Buy.
probably around. That's probably around when they started the whole i3, i5, i7 business, because they started that after they had the as a next series of processors after the Intel or dual core what were them things called?
I don't know.
Core 2 Duo, Core 2
Uh-huh.
Quad, Core 2 Duo.
Café.
So,
Chris, you should know this.
Café. Coffee.
oh yes. Oh
Tea.
yes.
Tea.
Yeah. It's my second cup
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys. you
today.
must have- She had a haircut. today.
Second cup today. No, it's not.
She had a
I
haircut.
think it's my third. So how do I want to say this so that it makes sense.
J'ai pas compris.
I was naively thinking when I first got into this that if you wanted an up-to-date computer, you had to go with the top of the line processor, which at that time would have been an i7. I knew nothing about generations because from what I'm understanding now, you can get an i5 with a specific generation that's just as
Let me put it to
good
you this way.
or not better than an i7, right?
Let me put it to you this way. If your computer is 8 years old, like this laptop is, and it's a Core i5 that's 8 years old, third generation, anything newer, regardless of whether it's the latest and greatest or not, like this computer that I'm using now is definitely not the latest and greatest. It's a
Huh?
few years old as far as generation goes. But
Hello, Black One.
so you don't have to get the latest and greatest of generation to have a newer computer because
Hello, Black.
Bonsoir. Comment ça va?
Ça va bien. And you?
it all just depends on how much money you're willing to spend, how much power you really need.
Right, I understand, but let's go back 6 years, 7 years ago when I knew absolutely nothing about it, and someone said, "Hey, you need to buy this i7. It's the best and greatest and newest thing that came out." When the reality is, I could have bought an i3 or i5 generation, whatever the generation was at the time, that would have been just as good, if not better.
i5 is considered middle of the road, so you would have probably been fine with the i5. Notice no difference between the i5 and i7.
Oh, we'll get set straight now as soon as he gets the lights turned on. Ready, everybody together. Okay, we're going to clap and go. Lights on. Come on, all together now. Let's get Jim's lights on. See, it worked.
Hello, Jim.
Hello, Jim.
How's the voting going at the?
That doesn't start till 31st.
Now that would have been funny if everybody would have clapped about the same time then lights came on.
I was doing it.
I'm wondering how my background got turned off. Now I know how know how it got turned off. There we go. Okay.
You know, Alex, with your i3 and 5 Grasshopper, that's middle of the road. Walk in the middle of the road, no good. Walk on the side of the road, okay. Walk in the middle of the road, squish. So remember, Grasshopper, always walk on the outside of the road.
True. So how's Jim tonight? How's Blackwatch tonight?
Well, just look at us.
Jim's a little confused right at the moment.
We cleared out his.
What can we clear up for you? What are you confused about?
I'm trying to figure out how I lost all my backgrounds in Zoom.
Did you update?
Sometimes, occasionally, Zoom will sign you out automatically, so you have to go back and sign back in. And once you sign back in, your background should be back, because when you put a background in your Zoom and you're logged into your account, it actually uploads to your Zoom account
pizza's cooking. Yeah.
Well, what if you click the link and you don't sign it?
It's got jalapenos and pineapple on it.
It's got jalapenos and pineapple on it.
Yep. That's what they brought from their dad's place, a frozen jalapeno pineapple pizza.
I got
That is
me and
wrong.
my instructor ordered pizza from Domino's one day at college, and we got jalapenos on it. Those were some of the hottest jalapenos I think I've ever ate because they were fresh.
Jim, what version of
It's
Zoom
seeds.
are you running?
Hold on a second. Trying to figure out what it's doing. Yeah, give me a couple minutes. I'll be back.
Okay.
Hey, Bob. Well,
He'll come back and say Alex was right.
Oh,
Mine
there is
disappear every
update.
now and then. I know there was a new version of Zoom came out 2 days
A couple
ago.
of days ago. A couple
Right.
of days ago.
I'm still on 11.1.1. I just went and looked. So I thought it automatically updated when you signed out of Zoom.
No.
Or 5.11.1.
Mine, I have to manually do mine. I am on the latest one. It is 5.11.8,
That's better.
I believe.
I wonder why mine's not updating. So what was the issue, Jim?
Yeah, he's right. I had to sign back in. I had forgotten
I
that
knew it. I knew it.
I was looking at I was booted on the laptop into Linux Mint, and I went looking for Zoom to see if it was available, and it was. And apparently when I signed in on that machine, it signed me out of this one. So
So that's your only confusion?
That's it.
Damn it.
Certainly
so you understand all this I-759 talk?
Yeah, I understand it.
So I'm going to say I'm the only one here that doesn't understand it?
Not
No,
the only
I'm
one.
sure you're not the only one who doesn't understand it. It's not necessarily something easy to understand. You've got the different levels of processors. Generally speaking, your i3 is usually either 4 cores and 4 threads or 4 cores and 8 threads, depending on the generation chip that it is. Your i5s are typically 6 cores and 12 threads. Your i7s are, I believe, 8 core usually and 16 thread. And I can't remember what the i9 does. I can't remember. I think it's
12 core and 24 thread.
That sounds right. Yeah, that sounds
my i9 10850K has 10 cores and 20 threads.
Yeah,
It's
that
a
sounds
10th generation.
right.
I don't know what the 11th and 12th have.
Well, the 11th
They've got
is
efficiency cores now in the latest one.
well, the 12th they have the efficiency cores. On the 11th, I don't believe they have those. I could be wrong. It's hard for me to keep up.
They have the E cores.
12th generation has E and P cores. I don't think the 11th generation does.
Personally, I think an 8700K would bring a 9700K to its knees, but that's mine. It's argumentative. But whatever.
I have the processor in my computer is the laptop version of the 9700K. It's the 9750H.
So BH Ringer says the latest version of Zoom is 5.11.9. So I'm way behind.
Yeah, you missed
I've got 5.11.4.
Can't you go to tools, then update? Okay, all right.
No, not when you're in a Zoom meeting. It'll do it after you close the Zoom meeting out.
I know that, but it was kind of fun to watch it go poof. First we looked around and poof, you were gone.
Yeah, but so if I leave the meeting, it's not going to update me because I've been leaving these meetings since it updated a couple days ago, and I'm still on 5.11.1. So
When
do
you
I need to
leave the
leave the
meeting, this
meeting,
is what
shut
you
Zoom completely down, and/or sign out, sign back
You
in,
need
and
to
open
press
Zoom back up?
you don't have to sign out. You don't have to sign out when you when you leave the meeting. Go up to your picture on the right hand side of Zoom. Click check for updates, and it will give you the latest version.
Unless there's some strikingly urgent security issue, there's no point in updating it until the meeting's over.
Right, and it works just fine. So, or it seems to be working just fine.
Besides, if you update, you'll ruin my hack into your stuff.
That explains a lot. Now I know why the
And if you
logos.
believe that, I've got some land I'd like to talk to you about.
Yeah, really.
Now be quiet. The people in the group home here are going to hear you. You might be accused of something.
Well,
How is that
as
possible?
they said in the Big Bang Theory,
No
your
Sean
pen
and
can kiss
no
my
Josh in
Barbie
the meeting.
or whatever.
Well, I said the group home here,
Yeah. Oh,
indicating I was in a group home. I'm not. I'm in
okay.
my house. It was a joke there, Alex. We'll
Well,
explain
there's
this for you as we go along.
Well, there's two of you. Does that constitute a group?
You need to put yourself in the waiting room.
I can't put myself in the waiting room. Right click on taskbar, Zoom, check for updates. Yes, BH Ringer has the answer to that solution. The problem is, I thought I had this set up to when I left, it updated. Apparently it's not. So I'll deal with that later tonight.
Now, I don't understand where you can check for updates.
On your taskbar. To your
Okay, but
right.
I click on the Zoom, right click on it, and I don't have that. Is it a left click?
No, it's
Okay,
right click.
right.
It should be right above the words above.
All I see is quit Zoom, Zoom, unpin from taskbar, and a closed window. I'm not logged
You
into
have to
Zoom.
right click on the Zoom icon by the clock
and go to about.
But he's not logged in, he said.
I'm not logged in. I'm just running it.
I'm not logged in either.
That doesn't matter. You just have to go to the Zoom icon on the taskbar on the right hand side where all your system icons are.
Little blue
Oh,
and white
mine isn't
icon.
on the right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. There's a different one in that one. I was
Right.
clicking on the Zoom meeting icon.
Now it even says, mine even says downloads are paused. Will resume when the meeting ends.
Right. So that's when you'll get your update.
But
Right.
All right. Update available. All right.
Look, George.
5.11.9 is the latest.
George. Who the hell is George?
George isn't here yet. George probably is not showing up tonight. He would have been here by
I gotta
now,
go
I think.
check the pizza. I shall return.
All right. I'm going to put Jim in charge, and I'm going to see something here. Oops. So I'll see if they listen to what I'm saying or not. I have actually logged out, and according to what they're saying, I signed out of the meeting. By me signing out of the meeting, if I right click down here again, it says a new version is available. Update here. That's not what they're saying. They're saying when I sign out of the meeting, it should update automatically. It's not going to unless I hit this right here. I'm smart enough to know that. So I'm going to go ahead and hit update, and it will update rather quickly, it looks like. I may have to remember to go back to 5.11.1, install it. It's kind of good how I've got this set up now. I can display things on this monitor with no issues, no mirroring, no problems whatsoever. So I'll go ahead and rejoin the meeting. It should kick me right back in.
Hello.
You all squared away now?
Well, It didn't do it automatically like everyone thought it would. On my little box, it said at the top, update available, update now, click here, which I did. Yes, I'm all squared away. I have the current version. So there's probably a setting in the main Zoom somewhere that I've set that will not let it update automatically. But yes, I'm good.
But maybe that's a box you check that says do not update automatically. Just a thought.
Could be. It's a possibility. There's a possibility. So I did show over YouTube me updating it if you want to go back a couple minutes. Excuse me.
I saw that.
Yeah.
YouTube.
So that explained the process. You just go down here to right here on your taskbar, right click, check for updates, bring the update box over here and it says I'm up to date. So that's cool. And the nice way I've got this set up, all I gotta do is one click and all this garbage goes away and it's like we never left.
Just a thought, Ken.
Tony Wallow says, is there a setting for automatic? Probably gonna say there is.
Yes, there is. Go into your Zoom settings, click on general. Halfway down, it says Zoom updates.
I thought you said George wasn't here.
Oh, I thought you meant the other George.
Oh.
Well, okay, so mine is clicked. Here, let me show you. Mine is actually clicked to Zoom updates. It is checked. Automatically keep Zoom desktop client up to date.
Right. Right below that, is it set to slow or is it set to fast?
Slow.
That's why. Change it to fast.
Oh, because if it's slow, it just takes its sweet time.
It says fewer updates, better stability.
Okay. Well, that is done. So that answers Tony's question. And BH Ringer just walked me through what you just said. So cool. Go back over here. Hour and 12 minutes.
Yeah.
Good.
Black watch.
We?
Yeah, it's the gray hair you see on his head.
Pardonnez-moi?
Huh?
I think it's excusez-moi.
Is that French for like A? A over A? What? I don't know. I don't do colloquial French.
What?
Colloquial French. I don't do that.
I don't do any French.
Coffee is cafe French.
Yeah, I'm going to go click some buttons here and end the stream. We're a little over an hour. I'm going to try it this way tonight. I'm kind of curious just to see if this stupid stream deck is functioning or not. Let's see what happens here. Changed on OBS. So that's good. And there we go. So give some shout outs to Tony Wallow, BH Ringer.
What you designed for this?
What's my design for
this YouTube?
Oh, it's just something I pieced together. It's a picture of my hallway, and the back one in the very background is actually slats for my curtains that go out to my porch. And then I went into DaVinci Resolve and I put the video of the dancing girls in the frames and on the slats. Just something I put together, was messing around one day and turned out pretty good. And then of course my logo, and then it'll go to the thank you screen. So
Mike,
excuse me,
Mike, aren't you sorry you asked?
Yeah.
Sorry you asked.
So Greg Guy, Tony Wallow, Jeff Ryman, Kenny Witten, Wintermute, and anyone else I might have missed, thank you so much. I'm going to hit stop stream.